All right, the big talk of the ACC and the nation last weekend was, of course, Syracuse's improbable, some would say nearly impossible win over Clemson. Most people considered the Tigers one of the top two teams in college football. They may well still turn out to be just that. Syracuse much improved, not just in looking at the record at 4-3, but the narrow losses to NC State and LSU on the road, and then, of course, the game against Clemson. Everybody thinks Dino Babers, the offense, running 100 plays, high tempo, bubble screens, Eric Dungy at quarterback, 2 elite receivers, and think offense, but it's really been the defensive improvements and the efficiency on offense that have spelled the difference for the Orange. Still, you would have to consider the roster a little bit overmatched as they go to Miami, take on the 8th-ranked team in the country. The Hurricanes escaping the last 2 weeks against Florida State, and then Georgia Tech down 2 scores in the fourth quarter as Malik Rozier and Darrell Langham, who has burst onto the scene the last 2 weeks with 2 outstanding catches, probably the 2 biggest plays for Miami this season in its 5-0 start, with the touchdown grab to beat Florida State and the improbable 4th and 11 snag that he made with 2 defenders on him on a tipped ball to keep the drive alive against Georgia Tech, which led to the game-winning field goal. Syracuse at Miami could be Syracuse coming back down to earth, Mike, or it could be extremely interesting once again for the Canes to try to pull one out.
This is a game that is a little bit tricky for Miami. You're coming off a big win over Georgia Tech. Potential letdown spot, I could see it. Miami needs to stay out at third down. That's bottom line. Their fans don't want to hear that, but they need to stay out at third down. They're 97th nationally in third down offense. They're only converting third downs at a 34.5% clip this year. Not very good. Syracuse is third nationally in third down defense, only allowing almost 24% conversion rate. Miami, they have a lot of playmakers. Amon Richards will be back this week, which is very important. Travis Homer has been really, really good. You mentioned Langham and everything that he did, not only against Georgia Tech, but he's just really emerged as a second major playmaker on the outside for the Hurricanes. I think Malik Rozier needs to get off to a fast start. He's been okay, I guess is the best way I would characterize it. Miami fans would say he's been, really, really solid. I mean, I think he's been okay. He's gotten off to slow starts in a lot of games, and he's been one of the best second half quarterbacks in the country this year. Bottom line, he's been fantastic in the second half of football games this year. If Miami's within shouting distance and Rozier's on the field in the second half, you got to feel great about your chances if you're a Hurricanes fan. My problem with this game is Syracuse is one of those teams that can sneak up on you. They can score a lot of points early, and they can get you down early. And if they get you down early, Malik Rozier is going to have to lead you up the field, and you're going to have to score early and often in this football game. And I'm talking touchdowns, not settling for field goals. I think that's the one thing we saw last week out of Miami. They settled for a lot of field goals in the first half against Georgia Tech. It took a late touchdown to really get them back into that football game in the first half. That surprise onside kick attempt to start the second half, Georgia Tech runs it in for a touchdown. You can't be doing that stuff against Syracuse. You saw Clemson try it last week. They tried a fake punt in the fourth quarter, kind of a last desperation type play, and Syracuse was ready. I mean, this is a defense that's good. That's the bottom line. This isn't a situation where, it's Syracuse, we can roll in there and beat them by 3 touchdowns. I mean, I just really don't think that's the case. Now, Miami is at home. I think that's to their benefit. Even though the stadium's like a third of the way full most of the time, you're not going to the Carrier Dome, and that's really important. It's hot in the Carrier Dome. It's loud. The fans are right on top of you. It's a really tough place to play. Hurricanes don't have to go there, and I think that's to their advantage. But as far as Syracuse is concerned, they can really move the football. Miami's defense has been good this year, but you have to wonder, the tempo at which Syracuse runs their plays, it will wear on Miami a little bit, and their fans don't want to hear that either. But, you saw Toledo, which, Toledo is 17th in the country in pace as far as offensive plays per game. Syracuse is second. So this is by far the fastest offense tempo-wise that we've seen this year for Miami. But I think the Hurricanes will have a great opportunity in this football game to showcase all their talent that they have on both sides of the football. I think they win this game. I think Syracuse keeps it close. But I think the Hurricanes, at the end of the day, have too much talent on both sides of the football to lose this football game. Plus, their major players outside of Mark Walton are healthy. I mean, Travis Homer's healthy. He has experience. He can run the football well, as we saw last week. So I like the Hurricanes to win this football game, but I think it'll be close, and I think Syracuse will make it extremely competitive. I just worry about Syracuse in the fourth quarter, really trying to hang with Miami, because Miami's got a bunch of playmakers that, while Syracuse's defense has been solid this year, Miami's got a lot of talent that's healthy or getting healthy at the right time, and I think that's ultimately what makes a difference in this football game.